to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a cold morning in L.A. I feel like it's cold all over the world. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE, Jesse. And there are a couple lines over here we want to jump in there. My biblical question for this week, the biblical question, do you have confidence? Do you have confidence? An amazing question. Do you have confidence? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're busy and you're not able to sit and watch it now, anywhere in the world. By calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500, anywhere in the whole wide world. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram, and JLP Talk on X. Like, follow, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Bond JLP Cash App, Bond JLP on Cash App, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. So, it's Friday again. Believe it or not, I'm falling in love. It's Friday again. Already. Isn't that amazing? And every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day. Every Friday is whatever is on your mind, express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
Put to test by a group of moms in Boston.
Unchained! The St. Paul City Council is now made up entirely of women.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
And majority women of color. The past wrongs that still impact our community.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
So when you see the word white, what comes to mind?
Privilege, power,
arrogance.
But it seems like the ones that are typically male.
Timothy Chalamet stealing a few kisses.
Don't be a beta male. What? I had not seen that. That's amazing. What an opening. What an opening. amazing. Things are bad, folks. I remember growing up and parents taught their children by example and telling them how to work, how to be an individual, how to think for themselves. They prepared their children, especially the boys, that at 18, 19, you're out of the house, you're on your own. You got to leave the nest. And you will grow up with that mentality and not a mentality of fear or any of those things. And you would just deal with whatever happens in life, right? You would just go through it without even thinking about it, to be honest. Because your parents loved you enough to watch out for their own children. And as a result, we had an amazing America. America was amazing because of that. It starts in the home. And now, let me just say, when I left home at 18, I had no idea the things in life I would have had to deal with. I wasn't even thinking of them. But one thing after another would happen, right? And I went from one job to another job to another job without even thinking about it. In my mind, I was trying to change jobs to make more money. And that's about it. And life would just happen. And my parents didn't teach me how to pay bills and all that. I had to learn that as needed. Life is about living. And life has its own, it has its own life. It'll happen through you. It doesn't need your help. Matter of fact, if you let go, you will live. Most people, 99.9, not all, but 99.9 people won't let go and let life just happen. It's amazing how that is. And it's because they have not had good parents. Parents are no good today. It's hard to find a parent that love their child or children. The parents are into self now. They'll try to get on TikTok. They'll try to be the well-known one. And no love. And I see these mothers out there pretending that they're upset about what's happening in the schools to the children, and they're lying. It's all an act. They're on stage acting out. They don't care about those children, period. They just want to get them out of their hair every day by sending them to school, and they go out pretending to be equal to the man. There's no love. And you see what it looked like out there now, right? Parents do not love their children. They're at the PTA meeting yelling and screaming and carrying on. They're at the school board meeting yelling and screaming and carrying on. They're doing it to get attention. They're not doing it for the children. They're doing it for attention. And then the next time, as soon as they get the attention, now they're running for school board or something, right? They're forever leaving the kids alone, not staying home and cooking and cleaning and watching over the children and being there when they leave and when they come back. They don't want that. You don't get any ego attention for that. I would grant you or challenge you to find one mother that truly loved the man's children. Just one. Look up and down the earth and find me one, and they shall be saved. It's hard to find one. Amazing, huh? It is so bad now, the New York Post is reporting that Generation Z job seekers are bringing mothers and fathers to interviews. Watch this from City news.
And you know what the younger candidates are doing now? The Gen Zs, they're called.
Okay.
You know, the new graduates.
Yep.
They're bringing mom and dad to the interview. New survey of employers found that they said 18% of recent college and university graduates, that's 1 in 5, showed up with a parent at the job interview.
Wow.
Oh, just for support? Like, were they actually in the room?
They were in the room, you know, they're trying to help out.
Okay.
It's a little weird, though, and the employers are not liking this so much. It's one of the reasons why, apparently, companies are shying away now from new graduates, looking to hire older people instead. They said 53% of employers surveyed found that recent college and university grads struggled with eye contact during the interviews as well. 50% asked for unreasonable compensation, and 47% didn't dress appropriately. Now,
wow. The degrading, downgrading of America. Can you imagine having a baby, a child, and you weaken a child like that? Just think about that. Your own parent weaken you so that you can't survive on your own in the world. It's bad enough having to deal with the hell in your imagination, the thoughts, right? But they'll weaken you. You can't even go out and fill out an application. You don't know how to dress for an interview. And you call yourself went to college. Now do you believe me when I say that my country is not coming back? My country is not coming back. Human beings, if God sent Noah out right now to find 10 human beings who are living the way they should be, it would be impossible. If he said, all right, go back and find 5, it would be impossible. Go back and find 1, it would be impossible. Because people are still living in the Old Testament. They're living the old life and have not accepted a new life. And look at the world. I'm glad to know that that God created a new life, a new way, and He put it inside of us, a new reality, a new world. And it's inside of us because it's a mess on the outside of us. Parents don't love their children. They're acting out. They don't love their children. And it's no one's fault but the parents. It's not racism, sexism, homophobia-ism, Islamophobia-ism, Debbie-Dad-ism, Allahu-Abba-ism, or any isms. Here's one more example of parents not loving their children today. Parents are about themselves, especially the mothers, but not only. There's no love. In my country, a Judeo-Christian country, there's no love. Parents don't love their children. These mothers are lying. And they love to say, Mom, Mom, Mom make them feel good, but they ain't no good. They're not moms. They're just a word that make them feel good. They're egos. That's all that is. It's a lie. And the kids are suffering. And these are white kids, black kids, all kids now. It's not just the blacks. It's not just the blacks. What's wrong with the blacks? The blacks are starving for a father's love because mama got no love. Here's another example of the failure of parents, of fathers to lead their wives in the right way to go and allowing the wives to destroy the children, his own child or children. These people are fighting over a cup. A cup. See? A cup. They're fighting over a cup that holds liquid, water, juice, coffee. They're fighting over. Where did that mindset come from? They're fighting over a cup. This is from the LA Times. The craze had prompted long lines outside of Target stores in the dead of night. Ugly fights have broken out. Shooting matches have erupted. Shouting matches have erupted. All this hubbub over Stanley Cup. Over a cup. Watch this from ABC and NBC.
Well, it looks like a scene from Black Friday shopping about a decade ago. Target shoppers fighting to get their hands on the limited edition Valentine's Day Stanley Cup.
And all this hysteria over a cup.
I got a Stanley!
The Stanley Quencher Cup, that is. Sold in over 100 different colors, the $45 reusable bottles are flying off shelves. The hashtag Stanley Cup racking up 6.7 billion views on TikTok, with videos of fans collecting them, decorating them, naming them, even camping out for them.
So it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning.
People lining up overnight at Starbucks and Target stores to snag a limited edition version.
Why are you so obsessed with these cups?
So everyone in school basically has them.
That's an example of insanity. Total insanity, insane. And that's what happens when the light is not shining through the parents. You turn your children over to the mothers, this is what you get. Over a cup. And that cup is no different than any cup. You could find an old cup and call it any cup and go on the internet with it, make a big deal of it, and they're fighting over that. Oh, I have any cup. Human beings are insane. And it's due to the anger that they have, and they're walking into darkness and don't know it. They're calling the darkness light. This is insane, folks. And just imagine, as though young people get older, what's going to happen to the country. It's bad now, but each generation is getting worse because there's no love. Parents do not love their children. The next time your mother tells you she loves you, or she's on TV talking about, I love my children, they're lying. They are grown people. Children come into the world innocent, and then they see this. They see the action of the parents, what the parents say and what they do. They're watching that, and it changes their nature. It hardens their hearts. And then they grow up walking in the darkness, repeating the same evil. What a mess, huh? They're fighting over a cup, and the cup is not even attractive. And the mothers just love it. Oh, it just feels so good. Why you, the kids at school have a cup. In today's.com, in one case, a TikToker say she purchased a tumbler from Walmart as a Christmas gift for her 9-year-old daughter. She came home from school upset after a girl in her grade made sure to let her know that she wasn't carrying a real Stanley Cup. Isn't that amazing? Watch this from TikTok.
This is the cup that we got our daughter for Christmas. This is not a Stanley. This is a $9.98 Walmart cup that she said she thought was cute. She is 9 years old. On the second day back to school after Christmas break, she comes home. The girls, all the other girls in her grade, all got Stanleys for Christmas. And they made sure to let her know that this is not a real Stanley, that this is fake and it's not as cool. So she comes home, she's upset. She asks if she can have a real Stanley. Do I have one? Yes, I have one. I don't have 50 Stanleys in all different colors. I'm not going to Target and fighting other women or moms to try and get the new Valentine's Day Stanley. I have one. If you're a mom, if you're a parent, and you can do something to keep your child from getting made fun of, to help fit in, you're gonna do it. So we went and bought her a 30-ounce Stanley.
See how weak that mother is? Where's the father to prevent the mother from being weak? Ain't no way in the world, in the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, you would come home crying because someone got a cup that is no different than yours. That cup probably better than the Stanley Cup. There's no way we would have come home crying, oh, they have a Stanley Cup. I don't have one. What a mess. My parents would have beat me back to school. But this parent weakened the child by getting an expensive cup. And the child is not going to use the cup but 1 or 2 times and be done with it, because a little ego will be done with it. And the mother just corrupt the child by getting the cup. A cup! God in Christ, Christ is man over woman, and women over children. The only thing that's going to work in a family, nothing else. It's not going to work otherwise. And this is not about religion. These are principles that we got to put first. We got to live by if you want to have a life. 888-77. It's a spiritual battle inside of you and outside of you, inside of others. The devil is in the details. And you're worshiping the devil acting that way and not knowing it. The thing about it, you just don't know it because that's all you remember since a child. Chris is out of California. Chris, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well, Chris.
So I just wanted to, I want to say I agree with you. Christianity is the best religion on this side of heaven.
Yeah.
And I watch your show every day. I watch your Fallen State. I love your show. I love all you guys. I just wanted to ask you what you thought of, like, the Muslims think there's infidels, and the Hebrew Israelites, whenever they think they're in some tribe, and the Jews think that there's the Goyim, and they have all this hatred and anger if no one's part of their tribe. But Christianity is the only one that says love everybody, because God can change anyone's heart at any time, right? What do you think about that?
About those religions you just mentioned?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, having like Muslims think, oh, if you're not a Muslim, you're an infidel. They can
well,
trick
everybody,
you, they can lie to you.
Because of the hatred of the heart, everyone think that their religion is the right religion and others are wrong. And that's because of their heart being evil. They're walking in darkness, and they have identified with a word called religion, but their hearts are far away from it. Even a Christian, it's hard to find a real Christian that has real love, the love of God that's been truly returned to the Father. And they just fight over a word religion too, and they don't have love either. So it's all the same. Whenever you have anger in your heart and whatever you have in your hand, you think that you own it and it's the best.
Right. True.
It's hard to find love today.
Yeah, I do see Christians are more accepting of other religions, and they kind of like don't really want to. Well, at least me, I don't want to judge anyone because they're in a different religion, because God can change their heart at any moment. And I just feel like if Christians kind of understood that, they might not let other religions walk all over them, because they're like,
if they were born again of the Father,
right,
they wouldn't let the outside world could not get to them. Period.
Right.
No matter what they said or did.
Right. And I mean, I see all this war going on, and the Congress is 80%. They have dual citizenship with Israel, and then now we're at war with Yemen and all this going on. It's a mess. It's like we shouldn't be allowing other countries to dictate what we do, and we should be focused on trying to always do the right thing.
Well, as long as you vote these people in, they're going to do this. The government is about self. They're about money and perceived power. That's why they have the wars going on. It's about them making more money, putting fear in the people. But the people keep voting them in, so the people get the kind of government they deserve.
Well, in California, to be honest, I mean, to be fair, they announced the winner before they count all the votes. I know they did that last time. They announced the winner at like 7 p.m., and they still had votes to count. So I don't know exactly if voting is really doing anything anymore.
It's the people. It has nothing to do with the vote. The people get the kind of government they are. So that's why it's like that. California is in the mess that it's in because the people are a mess.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%. It's the citizens. They reflect what they get governed by.
Absolutely. 100%. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate your answer. I appreciate you guys. I love all you guys.
Thank you.
I agree with Sean. The Earth is flat.
You believe that the Earth is flat?
Yes.
Are you joking?
No.
Why you believe it's flat? Have you always believed it was flat?
No, I didn't actually. I've been
at one time you knew it was round.
Well, when I was a kid, when you grow up as a kid, they tell you all the stuff when you're a child, and it's hard to break free from that sort of.
But at one time you knew it was round.
Well, I thought it was round. I've never been to space. I can't see it from but a lot of.
Well,
pilots,
who told you it's flat?
There's a lot of airline pilots. I know a couple of them, and there's a video of an airline pilot. He's flying and he's filming the stars, and the stars should go down as the Earth is coming up, right? If it's spinning, but the stars actually stay the same as he's flying hundreds of thousands of miles, and the stars don't go down. So there's different evidences that kind of pointed me to breaking free from.
So that's why you believe the Earth is flat, because the pilot couldn't detect the stars going down. What the?
Well, I have to say I don't know for sure. It's a belief, but it's the same thing as if you think it's round. It's a belief. You're not in space looking at it.
Well, that's why we're not supposed to live by belief.
Right. I don't live by it. I agree with Sean. Is all. Throw it out there.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
All right, brother.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yep, you too. Love you guys. Bye.
You too. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, more of your phone calls. Open line Friday, 888-7753-773. Your phone calls and super chats. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Good morning, Flat Earthers. I can see y'all now going up and down the earth. And good morning, Round Earthers. I can see you going around the world. Brand new episode of The Fallen State today at 12 noon. Brand new episode of The Fallen, Fallen, State.tv. Interesting discussion with Ray Daniels. And Ray is a hip-hop mogul. Mogul mean that he's real rich, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like entrepreneur kind of, CEO kind of.
Mogul sound like a lot of money. CEO of, he's a hip-hop mogul, CEO, and the host of a popular black podcast called The God Show. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
It sounds like you're rich.
I am.
Like a white man.
I'm rich like a black man. Biggest thing now is I don't want to lose it. That's my biggest nightmare.
What a mess.
But my father was my dog. Like, I love my dad.
So at one time you were a slut maker?
I think I was a slut king maker. What you said makes sense. It's just the delivery might piss off a couple people, but I understand it. Why do you call us the blacks? Aren't you black? What are you...
Amazing. Real nice conversation. You're going to like it at 12 noon. And while you're there, support The Fallen State. Go thefallenstate.tv/donate. And also on Local, you can support us there as well. And click on the link there. You'll see the description to locals.com at 12 noon. And then after my show today, the Hake Report. James Hake is on fire. The guy with the good hair. He white. And at 4 p.m., flying high on natural energy given to him by God, the American anchor baby. The American anchor baby. Amazing. At 4 p.m. Pacific time. And I'll see you at church on Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Doors open at 10:30. And the fellowship starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're not in the LA area and can't make it down, you can watch it live in the LA area too. At rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Let me go to Grace out of California. Grace, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Grace.
Yeah. I have questions. I got hired in a new job last year. I start November. So right now I'm like only 2.5 months something. So that is some complication with my dad's health situation. So my dad's still in Hong Kong, China, and he's in the hospital. So he admitted hospital during Christmas time and across the New Year, and then they discharged him on the 2nd of January. But then the next day, he has some bleeding situation on his toes, and then he readmitted to a hospital. So right now, he's still there. And then me and my half brother, we just communicate through the video chat because we both were living abroad. So I'm living here, my half brother living in Australia. So last night I was awake by all these Satan thoughts, telling me what to do. Tell your supervisor you're gonna leave the job because it's a new job. So if I leave the job, I will lose the job, and I don't have enough emergency funding to cover it. So my question to you, Jesse, if that is the situation, my dad is declining. His health will not get better. He's getting worse, and he will end up maybe have to admit to some nursing home facility. So what do you think? Should I go back to visit him and help him settle, or let him have all these community partners or community organizations help him to admit to the nursing home, then I go visit?
What good would it? Why would you want to lose your job to go back and do that if there's someone else back there who can do it for him? It's not even up for. That shouldn't even be up for consideration.
Yeah,
because
that's
you have to live your life. You have to live your life, and your father is living his life. And if he should be put in a home and you lose your job, then where are you left? He can't do anything for you.
Yes. But, Satan working hard. So it just kept me in my heart. So when I woke up like that, I watch all these thoughts, and I see myself separate from the thoughts. And I just sit in silent prayer just to be still. And then it goes away. It goes away, but it just keeps coming back.
And every time it comes back, just notice it back and just watch it so you can go through it. And eventually they will not come back because they won't be inside of you.
Okay. So I'll just wait until they settle everything, and then I'll just go visit.
And when you go visit when you can. Don't go visit because you're feeling emotional or you listen to thoughts. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
I agree, and I see that. Thank you, Jesse. Hope everybody doing well, and wish you all blessing with God's love and continue your good work. I looking forward to come to your women's forum when I can, because right now, like I said, I just have a new job and I have to focus.
That's right. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Amazing. 888-7753-773. That's the line open. You want to jump in there. Mark is a first-time caller out of Tennessee. Mark, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I just got to say, Jesse, the first time I ever saw your channel, I was researching on the internet about the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Then your Fallen State series comes up where you had those two Black Lives Matter people. And the thing I love about the video is how you just destroy them with simple questions and them just avoiding your questions. It was entertainment, and it was amazing.
Amazing. I remember that. It was very interesting. And this is why I want people, I'm encouraging people to do what they want, to take back their own life, of all races, to take back their own life as an individual and start thinking and doing and realizing for yourself. And that way you don't get caught up with all this mess that's happening outside of you. But you got to take responsibility. And Black Lives Matter is about Black Lives Matter. They can care less about black people or anyone else.
I absolutely agree with that. I judge a tree by its fruits.
That's right.
And they don't produce anything. And, you know, I used to be one of those, you know, like dumbass. Oh, sorry, I cursed. I'm so sorry. I used to be one of those idiots that believed in the mainstream media and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And when the whole Trayvon Martin thing happened, I had the internet, so I looked into it, and I'm like, CNN saying this guy's white. When I do a simple research, this guy's actually mixed with Hispanic and white.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have to say, the whole Trayvon thing, I think that's messed up or whatever, but more stories that came out of the mainstream media, I like to call them, you just start seeing, like, they're just glorifying thugs. And I was glad I came on. I was going to say, I was glad that I found your Fallen State series, because I'm like, wow, okay, so there are other people out here actually telling the truth of what's going on.
Why do you think most white people are afraid to tell the truth?
I think it's probably like backlash they could get from their jobs. Some people live in fear of speaking the truth because of the bad things that they think can happen.
So they put their job before the truth?
Some people do, unfortunately.
They don't know that the truth would take care of them?
Some people just, I think, just don't really look at it that way.
Why not?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you, but if I had a suspicion, I would say out of fear.
But if they believe the truth, they will have no fear. Anyone that have fear don't believe the truth.
I could agree with that, since you put it that way. But I've never actually sat there and actually thought about that.
And why not?
You just raised a good question to me, Jesse. So I can't really tell you why. You're making me think in a different way. Another reason why I like the show.
It's interesting now it's been a while now, that most adult individuals, not the group think, because the group think is screwed up, but most individuals don't even think for themselves. It's like they forgot or have not ever heard that you're supposed to think for yourself. Not somebody else's thought, but think for yourself. That's amazing to me.
I absolutely agree. And when I get told when I'm thinking for myself, I'm a white person, it's like, how am I a white person for thinking for myself and just calling out things for how I see it?
Are you white?
No, I'm black.
You black? You sound white.
I am black, Jesse. I call myself a native black American because I'm born in Tennessee, was never been to Africa.
Right on. And when they call you white for thinking for yourself, they say, oh, okay, whatever, because they're just trying to pull you back into the hell that they're in.
I agree. I've been through it all my life, and something I say when somebody says, "Oh, you sound white," and it's like, "Well, I can't believe you think that white people actually think for themselves." So what does that say about the black race?
That's a good point, man.
That's what I usually say back to them, and it's a bunch of emotion and blah blah.
Yeah.
After that.
Well, Mark, I really appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're out there, and you're black, and you're thinking for yourself. Because in the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, black people thought for themselves. They didn't have some stupid so-called leader. They didn't have someone telling them when, where, and how. They thought for themselves. I'm glad you're out there, man.
I was going to say this before I get off here, whatever. I was raised by my grandparents. They were born in the 30s.
Yeah.
We weren't taught racism or none of that.
That's
get out
right.
there, do your job. You don't have to work 10 times as hard as somebody. You show up and do what you're supposed to do every day.
That's right. The blacks out there lying, oh, if we work, we got to work 10 times as hard as the whites. The whites are superior to us. They really believe that white people are superior to them.
That's just a flawed way of thinking, you know?
I know. What a mess.
What a mess.
Yeah. Mark, thank you, man. I'm glad you're out there. Call me again.
Hey, maybe next Friday.
Right
Love
on.
the show.
Right on, man. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. See, folks, there's another black from this pair back in the 30s. They went into all this racism, phony stuff, and blaming white people and thinking that white people are better than them, superior to them. They were just people. I see white people. Black people, not all. The blacks truly believe that white people are superior to them. Isn't that crazy? You always hear them calling white people white supremacy. They're saying white people are superior to me. So we got to make them give us everything. Tony is out of California. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How you be today?
All is well, Tony.
Hey, I was calling. I heard you were speaking on with Christianity and how great it is. But to me, I want your terminology of what is religion.
What is religion?
Yes, sir.
It's just a word.
Just a word.
Yeah.
So why do you always emphasize that Christianity is the greatest religion in the world?
Because it's the only one that says you must be born again. You have to see within yourself that you're wrong, that you're angry, and let it go and be born again of the Father. It's the only religion that requires you to be born again.
The only religion to make you be reborn again.
That requires you to be to overcome the fallen state and rise up in the new state.
So why are these false prophets out here making so much money off religion then?
You have to ask them that.
Well, I'm talking to you now.
You have to ask them that.
I'm talking to you, Jesse. Don't you pimp God's word?
You have to ask them that.
Jesse, I'm asking you, sir.
Why are you so jealous?
About what jealous got to do with that? I'm not a Christian, so how am I gonna be jealous over what?
That's why you're jealous, because you're not a Christian.
No, come on, Justin.
You don't even have a chimney.
And you don't even have no wood to put no wood in the chimney. So what you talking about?
What?
You don't even have wood to put in the chimney. So what you talking about?
What?
What the?
You said
get you some wood, Jesse. You can't put real wood in a fake chimney, Jesse.
I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand what I'm saying? Do you have wood to put in your chimney? No, you do not.
And why do you say that?
Because you can't burn smoke in your community, in your gated community.
You're the same guy that said that I didn't even have a chimney. And now you say I don't have wood. Why do you say things that you know not doing what you have been doing? Why do you say things that you know not what you're talking about?
Because you got a fake chimney. That's all it is.
Why do you say things that you know not what you're talking about?
Okay, Jesse. Let me ask you this, Jesse.
No, answer that for me first.
What?
You just say things and have no clue as to what you're talking about. Why do you speak that way?
Because, Jesse, in the neighborhood that you live in,
why do you speak that way?
Can I answer your question?
Tony, why do you say things when you have no idea what you're talking about?
Jesse, you live in a gated community. You ride around in a G-Wagon. So don't tell me that you can.
Why are you so jealous?
Wood in your chimney. What jealous got to do with anything? What are you talking about, Jesse? That's what you flip. That's how you flip things, so you don't want to talk about it.
Tony, why are you so jealous?
Jealous of what, Jesse?
Of me?
What? Because of you.
You think I don't have you said that I didn't have a chimney, Tony.
What, Jesse?
Do you realize Tony? Do you realize I'm putting Tony on hold for a minute. Tony, do you realize you just say things and don't know what you're talking about at all? You just say things. Do you realize that?
No, Jesse, I don't realize that.
Well, you need to start realizing that because you're speaking on things that you have no idea. You're listening to the devil and you're worshiping the devil. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super
chats.
DJ bought 3 coffees. I already read this one about working with pot, but when people ask him, he says he works with agriculture.
Right. Amazing. Thank you.
Alan Balmer bought a coffee. If you're living in fear, you must be R-worded. Retarded, Ray, because we were created to bask in the garden.
Amazing. Thank you. And you're right. Anyone that has fear is insane. Insanity is fear. Anyone, I don't care who it is, you have fear, you're insane. Amazing. Thank you.
Charles bought a coffee. I know this black flight attendant for Delta who told me she is going into a minority pilot program for Delta to be a pilot. How scary is this?
Man, that made me tremble. I'm at a point now that I'm very concerned about flying, knowing that they're putting these blacks in charge of it, and these blacks are not qualified. They have taken out the white qualified man and put in unqualified people because of their color. That is crazy. And they're putting everybody, just imagine, they're talking about flying. They're not talking about living next door or working in a building that's already on the ground. They're putting your life at risk because they're afraid to be called racist. And they're putting a female in charge of flying. Can you imagine that? What happens if she gets ticked? It's over. Thank you.
Super Dave donated a diamond. Hello, please change the D-Live chat color, not blue. Done. He said thanks. You're welcome.
What's the D-Live chat color?
Over on D-Live, we control the chat color.
Oh, like on the internet thing?
So we changed it, DLive.tv/Jesse Lee Peterson.
And they don't like it blue?
He didn't like it blue.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's less readable.
Oh, I see.
For somebody who might or might not be colorblind. So we turned it yellow. You're welcome. Henry Ford.
Thank you.
And thank you for the diamond. Henry Ford Lives donated a diamond yesterday. When will Whitey get tribal and fight for survival?
Don't call me Whitey. N-word.
Don't call me N-word. Whitey.
You remember that song?
Only because of you. But yeah, I looked it up. It's a good song.
That's how free America was at one time. They can make a song that says, don't call me Whitey, N-word. Don't call me N-word, Whitey.
But they didn't say N-word. They said the full-blown word.
Right.
Hard R.
That's right. Isn't that amazing? Thank you.
Shout out to the top contributors yesterday, WD-41, Evgeny Crosby, Henry Ford Lives, Super Dave, and the rest of the D-Live supporters. Appreciate you guys.
Amazing.
That's that for yesterday's Super Chats. We got more this morning.
All right, I wanted to finish up yesterday. When I come back, more of your phone calls, and we will get to today's Super Chats as well. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. And I'll be back in a moment. 2 more hours to go. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Express Yourself Friday, January 12th, AD 2024. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls. You can call in right now. There is one line open. And JLP will get to you. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Leave the Houthis alone. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, and the far-left female run outlet The Skim reported U.S. forces launched strikes against Houthi militants in Yemen yesterday. The U.S. and, quote-unquote, several allies, mainly the U.K. and the Netherlands, struck more than a dozen Houthi targets using missiles, fighter jets, submarines. They killed 5 people and injured 6. The strikes, the first from the United States against the Houthis in Yemen since 2016 during Obama's time in so-called charge. They're in response to the Iranian-backed group's repeated attacks against commercial shipping in the Red Sea. Since November, the Houthis have carried out more than 24 drone and missile attacks. The largest one yet happened earlier this week. The Houthis have defied repeated warnings to stop, saying the attacks are in support of Hamas, supposedly, according to the ladies at the Skim. Now, crooked Joe Biden says yesterday's strike sends a clear message that the United States and our partners will not tolerate attacks on our personnel. Biden said he will not hesitate to direct further measures to protect our people and the free flow of international commerce is necessary. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican from Louisiana, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Rhino from Kentucky, they said that the strikes were, quote-unquote, overdue. Some demon rat lawmakers said Biden violated the Constitution. Maybe he should be impeached then by not having Congress authorize the military action. Meanwhile, the Houthi deputy foreign minister warned the United States and the UK that they would pay a heavy price for the blatant aggression. Wow. The strikes likely heightened tensions in the Middle East. There's growing concerns that Israel-Hamas war could turn into a wider conflict with Iran's proxies, including the Houthis and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Excuse me. Saudi Arabia called on the U.S. and UK to show restraint. Good word, Saudi Arabia. The Israel-Hamas war has no end in sight. You know, that drama going on? Many fearing an escalating conflict. Meanwhile, there's a genocide trial. Yesterday, the anti-white South Africa, of all countries, presented its case in the International Court of Justice. That's the UN's top court, I guess, accusing Israel of committing genocide. That's rich, coming from South Africa that hates whites and kills them. In Gaza, the 1948 Genocide Convention defines the crime as intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. South Africa, lawyers pointed to Israel's use of quote-unquote dumb bombs, the restriction of food and water, mounting death toll in Gaza. More than 23,000 Palestinians have been killed, per Gaza Health Ministry. 70% of homes been destroyed or damaged. UN has said 1.9 million of Gaza's 2.3 million residents have been displaced. And South Africa said Palestinians have experienced systematic oppression and violence for the last 76 years preceding the war. Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister, of Israel, said the case has a hypocrisy that screams to the heavens. Indeed it does, Bibi. Base Bibi. Describing it as an upside-down world in which Israel is accused of genocide when it is fighting genocide. Genocide or be genocided. Nah, I'm kidding around. We shouldn't kid. Hamas killed more than 1,200 people October 7th, as you know. Blah, 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 blah. The hearings are continuing today. The ICJ has never convicted a country of genocide. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
Stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way, I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse, my biblical question for this week: do you have confidence? Do you have confidence? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can podcast the shows if you're not able to watch it live, but you can listen to it live as it is happening while you're doing whatever you're doing by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And don't forget to follow, like, ring the bell, subscribe. And we're on X, of course. We're on X and Instagram and Cozy and Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, Cozy.tv/JLP, all those places. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. It's Friday. It's the second hour of the show today. Every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day. Every Friday is whatever's on your mind, express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot. Women screaming to get off their frustration.
Unchained. The St. Paul City Council is now made up entirely of women.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
And majority women of color. The past wrongs that still impact our community.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
So when you see the word white, what comes to mind? Privilege, power,
arrogance. But
it seems like the ones that are typically male.
Timothy Chalamet stealing a few kisses.
Don't be a beta male. It's amazing how the blacks are jealous of whites. It reminds me of that black guy, Tony, from California. Tony, this is for you, from California. Because I asked Tony, why does he say things that doesn't... it doesn't make sense. It's not even true, but he just said, and he believed it. It's insane. This is for Tony from California. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have... Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. That's from Plato. Tony is a fool that speak because he just has to say something, even though he had no idea. He just say things. I never seen that. Like, insanity. Come on, man. 888-775-3773. There's a line open. Dion is a first-time call out of California. Dion, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Hey, Dion.
Hey, I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. It's been pretty impactful. I just found you recently.
Thank you.
So I got a question. I went and forgave my mom. I've been married for 5 years, going on 6, actually, in a few days. And so I forgave my mom recently, and it's been an amazing experience so far. But between my wife and I, we both have had like issues with our parents, and we've talked about it for a while. And you know, we're Christian, and we quote unquote forgave them. You know, but now having gone and like confronted my mom, it's completely different. It was completely different, and it's been a different experience. And so my question is, should I encourage my wife to do the same? Because, you know, she quote unquote forgave her mom, but now that every time I bring this up, I'm seeing a whole bunch of emotions come up. You know what I mean? Like she's kind of avoiding even talking about it at all.
So when you bring it up, she says she sees emotion coming up.
No, I see her emotions.
Oh, I see. And when you point that out, what does she say?
We kind of start an argument, you know? It's like a small argument.
And what do you argue with her about?
I try to point it out. I just try to say, well, don't you see how, like, you have fear? Like, that's the red flag right there. To me, like, you're afraid, like, that shows me that you're backing off instead of leaning into it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And your question for me is what?
Should I be encouraging her to do that, or should I just leave it alone? Because, like, sometimes, you know, passing, I may just say something silly. I'll just be like, oh, well, hopefully you forgave your mom by then, you know? And it's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that because it's actually triggering. So, like, you know what I mean?
If you're her husband and you're, does she obey you?
Yes.
She does? When you mention it, you can mention it, but don't argue about it. Don't try to make her see it because she might not be ready to overcome her hell. But absolutely, you should mention it. Just don't rub it in or try to be mean with it. Just point it out so that she can take a look at herself.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
And if she get mad about it, it just proves that you're right, that something in her she needs to deal with. How do you know? Do you know for sure she forgave her mother?
Yeah, we just between us, you know, just privately, she's forgiven her, and it's not like
she didn't tell her mother.
Yeah. No, not face to face. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, she hasn't forgiven her then.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say, and so that's why it becomes kind of an issue, and you know, I'm just.
Yeah, you should. You can't make her do it, but you have children with her?
We have a son, and we actually have another son coming in March.
And so if she doesn't go and forgive her mother, she's going to destroy your children.
I understand. Yeah, that's why I've been saying it, you know what I mean? But I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to rub it in. I feel like I'm walking that fine line right there. Because, like, I see, I feel like I'm starting to see, like, just a little more clearly about, you know, this is like my family. I've been wanting to do right by them and just do right. And then I heard your message, and so I'm trying to cut the trauma.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Well, you definitely should remind her, and if she get mad about it, don't overreact to her getting mad. Let her be mad, and let her be mad by herself. And maybe that alone at some point will make her see that she does need to go and forgive.
I hear you.
And why haven't she gone to her mother?
Well, since I forgave my mom, she every time it comes up, it's kind of a little fight, but then she's slowly starting to come around. She's like, I am afraid, and it's actually she's starting to see more of why she should forgive her mother, because it's like you said, it's like, we were both raised by our moms.
Yeah.
And so it's our whole world and the whole system, it seems, is set up to hide the fact that women are sinners also, and moms are sinners also. And so it's just kind of like, oh my gosh, like, what? Nobody's innocent,
Well, sin came into the world through the woman.
Yeah, amen.
Well, a mess. You went to your mother?
Yes.
And how did she react?
She exploded on me. She totally blew up. I listened to a couple, of the church messages and heard some of people's stories of forgiving their moms, and so there's quite a broad range of experiences there. So my mom was kind of intense.
And how is she treating you now?
My mom, we're good. Yeah, we're good. It seems like ever since then we have like a healthy, I don't know, distance. I don't feel intimidated, or I don't feel, and that kind of, or when I do feel that fear, like I don't step back from it. I go into the silent prayer, and I can actually, it's amazing. Like, it's amazing that like you said, you will start to see. It's almost like I understand why that, or where that fear is coming from.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you say when you see it, you go into it, not away from it, and you go through it, and that's when God is saving you from the hell by going. You got to go through the hell, and going through the hell, you know that God will take care of you.
Amen. That's so true.
And have you forgiven your father?
I forgave my father. Yes, I forgave my father too.
How did that go?
It was cool. He's laid back. He was just like, "Thank you, mijo."
Right on.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Fathers normally react differently than mothers because the ego is in the mother. It comes through the mother, and her ego is so overblown that she doesn't want anyone to tell her that she was wrong or did anything wrong, because it truly hurt her ego, and she cannot handle it unless she's ready to overcome.
It was pretty big, and I saw it coming. I knew exactly what was going to happen, because it's, because my dad, my dad wasn't around because he was a beta, and he treated her like a beta. So they split up right when I was like real small. So like she hated him. She hates him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I came to her and I told her, I forgive you for turning me against my father, it wasn't like she ever like kept him from me, but she did like hate him and bring that hate on me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
She could, she can not keep you away from him physically, but in her heart, because she hate him, she will turn you away from him like that.
Mm-hmm.
And kids can tell that.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And so I knew that she was going to blow up, because I knew that, it's a sensitive subject, and I'm just coming here and stepping on it pretty much.
Nice. Well, stay with it. And yes, you should definitely encourage your wife. She got to overcome that anger. Otherwise, she's going to destroy your children, because she's going to do exactly to your children what her mother has done to her, because if your wife has anger, in her there is no love at all. That emotional stuff that she thinks is love is hate. It is not love. Yeah. So you should definitely encourage her. And if she get mad, just let her be mad by herself. Don't overreact to her being mad. Don't argue with her and all that. Otherwise, you will help keep that evil thing alive, because she'll blame you instead of herself. But you should definitely encourage her to do it, especially now that you have children.
Yes, Yes. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Dion. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with the silent prayer, no matter what happened. And always practice being present instead of lost in your thoughts.
Yes.
Call me again,
Amazing.
man. Amazing. Thank you.
I will.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Amazing. There's a line open, 888-775-3773. Matt is a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Matt, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse.
Good morning. All is well, Matt.
Hey, just wanted to say I love the show. I fell in love with the Fallen State. There were some shorts on YouTube, and they were funny. And
Amazing.
through that, I found the radio show, and now I listen every day.
Right on.
but
Thank you.
I wanted to make a point, or just kind of something I was smoking on all week about that guy who jumped the bench and attacked the judge.
Oh,
You
that
remember
black guy that jumped the bench and attacked a female judge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
right.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, what if there was a man judge up there? Because he didn't react. I'm sure he did a crime, obviously, and he probably should go to jail for it. Whatever. I don't know what he did, but he's there, and he didn't react until she said under her breath, "Well, I think that he needs a little taste of something else." You know what I mean? And then that's when he got pissed off and jumped the bench.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, what if you have a man up there judging, in a position of power, he's not going to make a comment like that. He's going to sentence the man to whatever the crime calls for.
Yeah.
But you have that spirit of the woman, I think, coming out, and the judge might be physically attacked, but I think that spirit in her was looking for a thrill, and got that thrill out of that man and was loving it. You know what I mean? So
That's a
I
very
don't know.
good point, Matt, because all men and women hate their mothers. And that woman could have definitely, when she said that little undertone thing like that, it could have definitely caused a reaction in him. And that's why he did it. And I, too, doubt that could be the reason he did it. I could doubt that he would have jumped that thing had a man been there. The whole situation would have turned out differently.
And now he's in the court the second time, looking stupid with a bag over his face and gloves on, and all because of just hell fighting hell, So,
I'm telling you,
I don't
man.
know, I thought it was an interesting point. But Jesse, I love the show, man. I love what you guys are doing, helping to rebuild the man. I think it's a voice that's very much needed out here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you make a very good point, because when I saw her speak that little undertone mama-like thing, I thought about the same thing. I wonder if that guy overreacted to her because she sounded like mama.
And he definitely, man. And you know what? I've been in the courtroom one time for a speeding ticket, and my dad made me go. But those benches are pretty high, so that guy must have had some anger in him because he jumped pretty high over that bench.
He sure did, man.
So,
Wow,
I don't know.
It was major.
It was amazing.
Thank you, man.
But thank you, Jesse. Thank you for taking my call, brother. Take care. Have a good day.
You're welcome. Good point, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. 888-775-3773. Nick is a first-time caller out of New York. Nick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, thank you so much for having me on there and taking my call. I just discovered your YouTube channel, I guess, like a week ago, and I just been watching them over and over and over again.
Thank you.
And I just have a question. I mean, I'm a born-again Christian, and if you have time, I'd love to give you my testimony. But my question is, have you been able to maybe convince other black people about your views? Have you had a lot of resistance? Are you making any headway on getting a message across to black people on how, again, what you've been saying and your views?
Yeah, there are a lot of black men and women, too, who are starting to really look at themselves to see what's wrong with themselves. And they are hearing the message of forgiveness. They need to forgive their mothers, because most black people don't know that their problem is not white people, it's not racism, but they resent their mothers and grandmothers, and they're yearning for the father. And there are blacks who are hearing that, and they're starting to work on themselves and overcome the lie. It is happening for sure.
Awesome. That's great because, it's just so funny how I was watching one of the videos and where you were talking about how whites are oppressed, and I was surprised for you to hear that. But then when you pointed it out, I was like, yeah, I guess I could agree with that. But thank you so much. And I just wanted to point out, because I know you talk about you're a Christian, and you talk about being a Christian, and I'm a born-again Christian. I got saved in 2012. And basically, long story short, I don't want to hold you up, fear came over me. I was drinking a bottle of bourbon a week, and I was holding back because I could have drank more. But I'd have a bottle in the garage, a bottle in the shed, wherever I could put one. And fear came over me. The fear of God came over me one night. I dropped to my knees and just cried out to him. I got up, and I was changed. Never drank. Not that I never drank again, but I don't drink like I used to. Now I drink a beer once in a while. I have a glass of wine. But I don't drink anywhere near the way I used to. A lot of things changed in my life because I became changed, because I became a born-again Christian. Not perfect. I sin, but like everybody else. But I know that I have to go to the Father and repent and get on my knees and ask for forgiveness. But I just wanted to point that out to you.
Yeah, what is a born-again, when you say you're a born-again Christian, what is that exactly?
So when trying to explain to someone that hasn't gone through this experience, it's kind of hard. But basically, like I said, the Bible says in Proverbs, I believe, that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And like I said, I had such a fear come over me. Like if I died at that moment, I'd go straight to hell. And that came over me. And because I was having like a nervous breakdown, I was I was having a tough time in my life at that time. And my wife was away with the kids skiing, and I was home. He was with our friends, and I was home drinking, and just again, all of a sudden, I felt something come upon me where if something happened to me and I died, I'm going to hell. And then I dropped to my knees right there and then, and I cried out to the Lord and asked him for forgiveness. And then when I got up, I was changed. I was just different. I knew something happened to me. I didn't know exactly what it was at the time. I was a little confused. But I knew that I didn't have the same desires as I had. A peace came over me, and then I started to realize. And then I started reading my Bible. Read the Bible 4 times. I read it every day, every night, every day. I read the Bible. You have to have a relationship with God, and that's basically how I became born again.
And you believe that you have a relationship with God?
I do.
And
I do. I believe.
What does that relationship look like?
Well, he's my father. I'm able to talk to him. Now, I don't hear an audible voice. I don't know if anyone does, but I do get. And I got to be honest with you. I got saved again in 2012. When I first got saved, I was so on fire for the Lord. I was speaking His name wherever I went. I was going out witnessing to people. And I'm not making excuses now. I still am saved because I believe that once you have this experience, you're saved. I've cooled off a little bit, unfortunately, which is unfortunate for me, and I know that. And I know that I got to get closer to Him. The world beats you down, and I'm not making excuses. It's just the way it is. We live in this disgusting, filthy world. It beats you down, and then I ended up, and I'm drifting a little bit, but I still read my Bible and I still pray. So the relationship is just, again, speaking to Him and reading His Word and praying to God and just, reading His Word.
Does He answer your prayers?
He does answer my prayers, but the Lord will answer your prayers on His time. Sometimes we have so much, you want it done yesterday, but you have to wait. But I'll give you one example.
What?
I'll give you one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So when I first got saved, I was going through a lot of tough stuff with my son, who was 14 or 15 at the time, maybe 16. I can't remember exactly. But and I kept hearing, I kept hearing in my heart, and I had these rock and roll records downstairs. Like I'm a guy that if I get something, I keep it perfect. I had, I don't know, $400 or $500 worth of records when I was younger, and I used to play records. And I kept hearing in my heart, You got to get rid of these records. So I looked into it, and the rock and roll industry is very satanic and it's very bad. And they have a very bad messages for kids and adults. So I kept hearing it, but I didn't want to do it because I love those records. I didn't want to get rid of them. I could sell them, but you can't sell them because then you're giving this garbage to someone else. So anyway, one day I got up, and my son was into drugs, and he was into issues, and we were fighting. I was going to kick him out of the house. We were having all these issues. And I went down, and I grabbed all my records. I broke them up in pieces, ripped up everything, and started pleading the blood of Jesus on myself and on my house. My son came down that same day, apologized to me, and then I saw him go on a path, which was he was leaving that path of destruction. Now, he had some rocky times along that path, but I saw a little bit of a change in him. So things like that has happened, and the Lord will answer your prayers. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy at first, again, but I do feel that me getting rid of those records and get rid of that stuff and some people might hear me right now and think I'm crazy, but it's true. It happened. And that day he came down and apologized for what he's been doing to me.
Does your wife obey you?
My wife is, I guess, not all the time. No, that's the easiest question and easiest answer. No, not all the time. She's Jewish. I married a Jewish woman.
Are you white?
We do.
Are you white?
Not crazy.
No, I asked, are you white?
Yes.
And you married a Jewish woman?
Yes.
And she doesn't obey you?
She's not a she's not a religious Jewish person. She's a more cultural Jew. She likes the whole aspect of being Jewish, but she doesn't go to temple. She doesn't do anything like that.
Why did you marry that kind of a woman?
Yeah, well, I don't know how long your show is, but they let me try to see how I could put this. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking I could change her. Maybe I was thinking I could, which you can't. You can't change people. When I first got saved, though, when she came back from skiing, I was trying to tell her about what happened, and she did reject it, and she still hasn't. But she's accepted it, and she's followed me to Indiana to get baptized. I mean, she's been with me, and but we don't agree on this. On the whole religion thing, obviously.
Do you have anger?
Yeah, I know. I hear you say that sometimes, and that's another question. I'm glad you mentioned that. There's something that I do believe, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you can correct me on this. That you could have righteous anger. When you hear about babies being, whatever, or people being hurt and things happening, that anger builds up in you as a righteous anger. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, and again, it's not like I'm out of my mind with anger, but it gets so. I do get upset when I see what's going on in the world. And
so, do you have anger?
Yes, I do have anger.
And have you forgiven your mother?
I have. My mom. I haven't. I never had any ill. The only problem I had with my. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit all over the place here. I lost my mother when I was 18 years old. She died in her sleep. We had a heart condition in my house, and I've lost my father young and my brother. So it's just so I don't. The forgiveness thing. I'll give you an example of what how I have forgiven, because I know forgiveness is big. I was at the time before I got saved. I was fighting with my sister. It was my only sibling left because of the house and whatever else we were arguing about. And I didn't talk to her for about, I don't know, maybe 2 years. And then once I got saved, I knew the Lord wanted me to forgive her, so I called her up and I forgave her. But I know that forgiveness is big, and you have to continue to forgive.
Have you forgiven your mother?
I don't understand. I just heard this a second ago when you talked to somebody else. You feel that everyone has anger towards their mom.
All men and women hate their mothers.
Can you explain that to me?
All men and women hate their mothers, and they become just like their mother. The way you think and the way you feel, it's the same spirit that's in your mother. And when she imposed her will on you, as a kid, she made you angry. And now you think and feel like her, but you don't realize that this, because any male that has anger is a woman, and you don't realize you have your mother's nature inside of you, which is the nature of evil. Your mother couldn't help herself, but you must be born again of your father, and that hasn't happened yet.
I don't know if I agree with you there,
Hold on a
Jesse.
minute. Hold on. Let me take a quick break, Nick. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, the Hake Report coming up at 9 a.m. this morning, Monday through Friday, the Hake Report. And then at 4 p.m., at 12 noon, the Father State, brand new episode. And at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, the American Anchor Baby. If you need counseling, we do counseling, have the best counseling service on this side of heaven by phone, Skype, or FaceTime. Go to rebuildingtheman.com. rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND to make an appointment. Let me go back to Nick, a first-time caller. And so, Nick, you said you disagree that that spirit that was in your mother is now in you?
I do, because honestly, I never felt, I mean, again, I lost my mother very young. I was just 18. I mean, I was 17. I mean, I was a month of 18, and I lost my mom. I never felt angry towards her. See, I was a third child, I guess you could say. I was a baby child, so I wasn't treated. There was no anger or anything from my mom. I didn't receive. I don't think of her that way. I mean, now that you've brought this up, I will think about it, but I don't. I never thought about having this hatred towards my mom for treating me poorly or for disciplining me or for any reason.
Impose her will on you. Why do you think she would irritate you at times?
Why do I think she would irritate me at times?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess as a child, you do things and parents have to discipline you. I mean, I'm not sure. Again, I don't know. I haven't really thought about this concept that you have that all people have a hatred towards their mom. So I don't know if I agree with you with that one.
But when she would irritate you about things and get on your nerve, what do you think that was from?
I'm not sure, honestly, Jesse. I'm not sure.
If you didn't have anger toward her, she would not have been able to do that. Irritation is anger.
Okay.
How about your father? You forgiving your father?
Again, I haven't thought about that. I had to forgive them because I didn't feel I had any ill will or towards them at all.
And where do you think your anger came from?
Oh, well, if you ask my wife, she'll tell you because I'm Sicilian, so she'll tell me that. She'll tell you that. But
if I asked her and she said that, she would be lying.
Yeah. So I'm not. I just think that as I mean, again, I'm going to consider what you're saying here, but I'm just thinking that as being in this world and being human, you're going to have anger. You're going to have issues where you're going to have things going to get you mad, things going to get you angry. I don't hold on to it. I'll tell you that right now. I don't hold on to it. I let it go. And again, I think one of the reasons why I did marry my wife after dating a lot of women. One reason was that she was able to, even if we did have a fight or an argument, she was able to let it go like I was able to let it go, and we wouldn't carry on for a week or a day, or not even a few hours. We'd be done in like an hour or so. We'd be done, and we'd be fine.
Do you believe that anger is of God or of evil?
No, I don't.
And so you have anger, right?
I do. I'm not going to say I don't have anger, sure.
So why do you think that you are a born-again Christian when you have anger?
I believe that Satan is constantly manipulating no matter what. Now, I believe I have the Holy Spirit within me, but I do believe there are outside influences that sometimes do, do things. Outside spirits. I believe in familiar spirits that are here that can mess with you.
Why do you think that you are born-again Christian and you have hatred in your heart?
I don't hatred in my heart. So you feel that anger is having hatred in your heart?
Anger is evil. It's pure evil, and it's of the devil. Why do you think you could be a child of God, born again Christian of God, and still serve the devil as well?
Okay, so again, the experience I had with becoming born again. It was, to me, it happened, and I definitely changed. And I do believe that the world... But you didn't
say you had anger before you had that experience, and you still have anger. What changed about you if you still have the anger?
Well, again, I don't have I'm not living angry where I get up and I'm angry at this and I'm angry at that. Instances happen and that'll upset me and I could get angry at that.
So
angry
what
because,
changed about you if you still have anger?
Well, again, you're making a point here, which I'm going to try.
No, that was a question.
Yeah,
That wasn't a point. That was a question.
No, okay. There's certain things I could tell you that actually I don't want to mention on the air here
right.
that I don't do anymore. Okay,
but what changed about you if your heart is still the same?
Oh, I believe my heart changed. I
believe I have anger.
I believe that. See, okay, I'll put it to you this way: you become born again, right? But you still sin. Now, some of it can be willing sin. You can sin, and you're not sinless.
And what is sin that you still committing?
I'm just saying you could have again anger towards someone is sin.
Right? Anger is playing God. And
exactly.
Anger is sin. You still have anger, right?
But there's still sin. Like if once you become born again, if you say you have no more sin, then you're lying. You're lying.
The Bible doesn't say that. Where you get that from?
Oh, the Bible does say that.
No, it doesn't.
If you say you have no sin,
right? It says
it's in John, I believe.
It says that if you say you have not sinned, you're a liar.
If you say you have not sinned, you're a liar.
It means prior sin,
right?
But it doesn't mean sin after you're born again.
Yeah, I don't. I think you. I don't agree with you.
If it says that you said,
I believe we sin, and you have to. Okay, you have.
I want
to
go back because of time. What makes you think that? I mean, if nothing changed, you're still angry as you were before the experience. Why do you think you're born again of God?
I did change. I know I did.
But you had the anger before that experience happened, right?
Well, the anger before the experience, and then, like I said originally,
you had the anger before the experience, right?
You're right. I have.
And you have
sure.
the anger after the experience, right?
Well, that let's put it not. when I first got saved,
You have the anger after your experience, right?
I was so on fire for the Lord. There was no anger.
But
years have passed. The world has got to me, and I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not making excuses. I'm a man, and I'm going to take. I'll accept what I've done, but to say that you can go through, because I listened to this wonderful pastor online.
How can the world get to a son or daughter of God if you are a son or daughter? How can the world?
Okay, here's the answer. I think. Okay, you have the old man, and you have the new born again man in you. The old man, the old ways are constantly in battle with the new man. It's trying to drag you down. It's making you look at a woman.
Where do you get that
if
from?
you look at a woman with lust,
Where'd you get that from?
I get this from my pastor.
Your pastor lied to you. Ain't no such thing as the old man being in battle with the new man. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, that's what you. I believe it does make sense.
It doesn't. How can the old nature be involved with the new nature when the old nature has been taken?
Because we're still living in the flesh.
When the old
You're still in
nature
this
has
flesh.
been taken away from you, how can the old nature be involved with the new nature when you no longer have the old nature when you're born of God?
Well,
it's not even in you.
You're still living in the flesh. You're still living in this world.
What does that mean?
You're in the flesh.
But the flesh is
corrupt.
just the flesh. No, the flesh is not corrupt. The flesh is just the flesh. The corruption lives inside the flesh. And when the corruption is gone, there's no corruption in the house anymore.
So, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
All right. Have you become born again?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a testimony? I know you said you don't have a lot of time. So, do you have a testimony of how your experience of becoming a born again Christian?
I don't know what that means. Have a testimony of it.
Well, that's the thing. So, I'm not sure
What's
if
a
you were born
testimony?
again.
What's a testimony of it?
Well, testimony is what I said to you before, where I was doing all these things. I was doing all these things.
Where'd you get the idea that should be a testimony?
Well, that's what I point to.
But why?
Of the moment. Why? What do you mean? Why is that my testimony?
Yeah. Why do you think that's necessary?
I think that all born again Christians have a testimony.
Why?
Of how?
Why do you
how
think that?
Why do I say it?
Yeah, why do you think that? No matter. I'm just because of time. Why do you think? Where did you get that idea from?
Again, being in the church, listening to certain people, and knowing the experience that happened to me, so it just makes sense that this is what happened to me. It changed my. I did change, even though I understand where you're going with it.
Where am I going with it?
Where you say, well, how can you be changed if you have anger?
And you still didn't answer that for me. And I'm doing. I'm trying
to answer you
this for my own understanding.
No. I'm trying to answer.
If you had anger before you had the experience, and you have it afterward, what changed about you?
And again, the only thing I could go to is to try to understand it. Is having two natures.
So you had two natures before
No, I mean now. No, now. See, before I got saved, I was just a fleshly man living in the world, looking for sex, looking for whatever drugs or whatever I can do to satisfy my flesh. Once I got saved, I got rid of those things, okay? And I have now two natures, where you have the born-again believer who's saved by God, and you have the old man that's trying to always drag you down.
Where did you get all that from?
Again, it's being in the church and listening to certain people talk.
Why did you believe?
And agreeing?
Why did you believe the preacher when he told you that?
Because it makes sense to me.
How? If you're still miserable beforehand and miserable afterward, why would that make sense that you're of God if you still don't have perfect peace?
Honestly, Jesse, I do.
How can you have perfect
maybe
peace?
Not perfect. Maybe not perfect
right.
peace. I'm not gonna say I have perfect peace, but I am in my own. I'm happy. I know where I'm going.
Happiness come and go. Happiness is not from God. Peace is from God. Perfect peace.
Well, okay, you can say peace or happiness. I have peace from the Lord for sure.
You have perfect peace?
Not perfect. I don't say perfect because, I mean, perfect peace is, what's your example of, like, perfect peace? Like, just, always, like, someone does something to me to make me angry, just not have that anger at all. I mean, just, like, not a problem.
Do you believe that you can live without anger?
Not in this world. I don't think
Why
you
not?
can. Because things are going to upset me when I see what they're doing to this country and what's going on at the border and these people pouring in. It makes me angry.
Why?
Makes me angry. It does.
Why?
Well, because I know what they're doing and why they're doing it, and for my children and the kids and all that stuff. And I know that this world isn't what it was when I grew
why
up.
would that make you angry if you understand what's going on?
It makes me angry that these people that are running our world are so corrupt, so evil.
Let me ask you
a question. Can you be angry at evil? Can you be angry at evil?
What good does it do you when you get angry at it? What good does it do?
It doesn't.
So what's the purpose of getting angry?
It's not a good. It's nothing. I agree with you.
No, that was a question.
What's the purpose of getting angry?
Right.
I think that sometimes if you get angry at something, maybe you could try to make a change in it in a good way, not saying in a bad way by hurting people.
You
but maybe
cannot change anything for the good with anger. That doesn't work that way at all.
No, I'm saying that maybe if something bothers you so much that maybe you're not doing it out of anger, but you say, you know what, I'm not going to be angry about this anymore. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to make a positive change.
But
about
you're doing
whatever.
that
like
out of anger.
like what you're doing. Like what you're doing now. I mean, trying to make a positive change on the way black society sees the white society. I'm
not trying to do it for that. I'm trying to let black people know, and all people, but especially blacks, that white people are not their problem. They need to forgive their mothers. Their problems start in the home and not with white people, and they have been lied to so that they can stay in the hell to be used, that it's the white people, but their hearts are wicked, their hearts are evil, and that will pass down to them through their mother.
Okay.
You know what? Call me on Bible Thumping Thursday. Amazing call. I got to run because of time, but very interesting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Amazing. Call me in there, Nick.
Take care, buddy.
Okay. 888-7753. 773. 888-77. Jesse. I'm typing a note to Hake. While Hake is coming in, let me go to Ryan, a first-time caller out of Washington State. Ryan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing, Jesse?
All is well, sir.
Good, good. Can you hear me?
You're not saying anything.
Oh, I was talking. Sorry, you couldn't hear me.
Okay, yeah, I hear you now.
No, I was calling in today. First time caller.
Welcome.
I've been listening to you for probably some years now. My older brother he's 5 years older than me. I'm 36, so he's in his 40s. He put me on to you. He's a far right conservative Christian. Probably. If anybody in this world, the one person that I would try to model my behavior after.
Right on.
He's got about 9 kids.
Wow.
Married to his wife. They've been married for some years now. Just had a new child, and pretty much he's a type of guy who he's pretty much like you. Like, the man is the one in charge of the relationship. The woman should follow, and his whole relationship goes like that. His wife, lets him lead.
His wife obeys him?
Yeah, adamantly, man. Like,
does your wife obey you?
I'm not married right now.
Okay.
I live with my girlfriend, and we're still at that stage where, everything, we're getting to know each other's boundaries and things and figuring things out.
Does she obey you, your girlfriend?
When it matters, yeah, but there's certain things still no, but I got to be honest, no.
And why would you be with a woman that will not obey you all the time?
I honestly couldn't answer that question, probably just out of, I honestly don't have an answer for that.
Have you ever wondered, why am I with this woman that will not obey me? And if, God forbid, if you make children with her, your kids are going to suffer, and you're just going to be in a battle with her until you guys break up. You're seeing this in the beginning that she's not going to obey. Why even tolerate hell like that?
I guess maybe because it's only about like certain things that I feel like aren't that I guess that serious. It's like small stuff.
But the small stuff would turn into big stuff if you marry her and make children with her.
You're right.
And so why take that risk knowing you're dealing with a woman that will not obey you and full of hell?
I don't know. You're probably onto something there.
And it was a question. When you think about that, do you have a question? Why am I with this woman knowing that she's nothing but hell? Why would I marry her and make children with her? And the marriage ain't going to last because it's already starting out in hell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from learning from your show and from other things, obviously your show isn't the only show like that I watch. I like content.
But why
like
do you stay with her then?
That's the thing is like, I'm at a crossroads at the moment,
And what's the crossroad?
Everything is all put in together. Like, even though we're not married, it's like we are. Everything is all together. So just take time and figuring things out,
What do you already see that she's not going to obey you because she's not obeying now? What is there to figure out?
I guess just making plans and actually sit down, having the serious conversation about things.
With her or with yourself?
With her.
And what else do you need to know? You already know that she's not going to obey. What more do you need to know?
Not nothing that I need to know specifically, just that she needs to know where I stand and what I need and what needs to happen. Otherwise, it won't work.
And why haven't you had that conversation?
Probably over the past few months is when the revelation really came. So it's just been a process of like dealing through, because I don't have kids with her. She has her kid is here.
She already have kids?
She has one child, yeah.
And she been married before?
No, she wasn't.
Why are you with a woman that already have children? Why not start out on a clean slate?
Because I don't know, I screwed up. I had kids in my 20s. I have two daughters, and their mom was really screwed up. She had a lot of mental disability stuff going on. Yeah, it was bad, dude.
And so why are you with a woman? Go and be available for your children. Why are you with a woman? That child that she has is not going to like you, because children don't like step-parents. They only want their natural parent, especially their fathers. They yearn for their own natural father, not a stepfather. Why aren't you with a woman that doesn't have children?
Probably just been honestly, just haven't had really I can't even think of one woman in the past 20 years that hasn't had children, that has, that I've had that type of going on with.
But that's what your spirit is attracted to, that type of evil. Hold on. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. Freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts. If you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. Am I right? This is the end of hour 2 already of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Hang tight, callers. JLP will be right back to your calls. The lines are full, and you can call in as JLP finishes with other callers in the next hour. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Bird flu going around. Egg prices going up. Eggs are getting more expensive at grocery stores as bird flu once again has struck the industry, according to Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. Fortunately, this latest avian flu outbreak won't be as severe as the one in 2022 that devastated flocks and caused widespread shortages, so say economists like they know. And winter storms are blowing through parts of the central and eastern United States, bracing for another powerful storm. Mirrors the path and hazards of the previous one that slammed the country earlier this week. About 35 million people stretching from North Carolina to eastern Massachusetts are under flood watches today, with more than 5 million across the South under tornado watches. Wow, tornadoes? Thousands of people are still without power in the eastern United States. Rivers are rising, forcing evacuations. At least 4 people dead. I think I mentioned that before. Maybe the same 4 people, not sure. From severe thunderstorms and wind as the first storm ended on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Iowans headed to the first presidential primary for the 2024 election on Monday. They are preparing to brave what looks like it's going to be the coldest caucus in state history. Some analysts say the frigid conditions could potentially impact voter turnout. Wow. Persecution of the president. Speaking up, our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, and the Commie Nonsense Network, CNN, report. Yesterday, the judge presiding over his New York civil fraud trial let him speak during closing arguments. After all, the judge had rejected Trump's request to let him talk because 45's lawyers couldn't guarantee that he wouldn't go off topic. Don't you love it? Speaking for about 5 minutes, Trump called himself an innocent man, indeed, and that he should be paid for what he's gone through. He said the financial statements are perfect and called the case a witch hunt. Trump hurled some insults, or accurate statements maybe, at New York Attorney General Letitia James, demon rat, black female, who accused Trump of fraudulently inflating his wealth. Trump said Letitia James hates him and doesn't want him to get elected. That's a fact. The judge warned Trump's lawyer to control him after he called the case a persecution, which is accurate. So-called judge previously ruled that Trump committed a so-called fraud, that he's liable for it anyway. He's expected to decide in the coming weeks whether Trump will have to pay a $370 million fine and be barred from ever doing business in New York again. New York's a loss, if so. U.S. lost $1 billion and Ukraine an estimated $1 billion in U.S. military equipment that was sent to Ukraine but was improperly tracked. A report from the Pentagon Inspector General revealed that on Thursday, according to Commie Nonsense Network. CNN. The inventory discrepancy comes at a critical moment, maybe that too, for Ukraine as Congress debates whether to authorize a supplemental package of more than $60 billion in aid amid significant Republican opposition. And the FAA talking tough after participating in affirmative action culture. Quote, "This incident should never have happened and it cannot happen again." That's what the Federal Aviation Administration stated, announcing Thursday the agency is opening an investigation into Boeing's quality control after that plug door or door plug, whatever that thing is, flew off that nearly new Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft last week, flying from Pacific Northwest down to Ontario, California, I think. That's from the CNN. And Google's laying off staff, sweeping layoffs across divisions, according to Comedy Nonsense Network. Hundreds of employees in some of the company's most recognizable products. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
To stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Good morning. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse, my biblical question, do you have confidence? Do you have confidence? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. And you can also listen to the show if you're like busy and can't sit and watch it. I know you podcast it later, you can do that. But you could be listening live on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 641-793-1500. And follow us on social media. Like, follow, and all that good stuff. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or rebuildingtheman.com. All right? It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. Every Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot. The women dealing with their frustration.
In Boston.
Unchained.
St. Paul City Council is now made up entirely of women.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
And majority women of color, the past wrongs that still impact our community.
God.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes.
So when you see the word white, what comes to mind?
Privilege, power,
arrogance.
But it seems like the ones that are typically male.
Timothy Chalamet stealing a few kisses.
Don't be a beta male. 888-775-3773. Let me go back to Sean. Who was I talking to? I was talking to someone. Remember the guy that lived with the woman that has a child, and he said that he had every woman he dated so far in the last 10 years or so have children. Who was that? What's his name? Ryan? Ryan, call back. Call back, Ryan. 888-7753-773. 773. Let me go to first-time caller, Asia, out of New York. Asia, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Asia.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hello, I'm sorry.
You're on the air.
Hey, how are you, Jesse?
All is well, Asia. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, so I was calling because I know it's Express Yourself Friday, and this doesn't really have anything to do with anything you've been talking about.
Okay.
But basically, I was calling because I wanted to know what to do about my ego. I know this is an ego issue, but I just don't know how to deal with it. So let me just start from the beginning. The man that I'm married to now, when I first met him, I used to like wear wigs and like colorful hair and long eyelashes and makeup everywhere I went. And then like he expressed that he didn't like it. And at first I like fought him on it. Like, this is how I express myself. I want to wear this and this, that, third. But I realized like it was like more of a self-esteem issue. I felt like I always had to be like done up to be pretty and stuff like that. But he helped me realize that I don't need to do that. But it's still like he never complimented me back then. And then like I changed and did all of this stuff. And to this day, he still doesn't compliment me. Like, it's kind of embarrassing to admit that your husband doesn't tell you you're pretty or whatever. But like he doesn't. And I know it's part of his personality. But I'm like, is it an ego thing for him too? Like he can't like let someone know that they look good, or like, I don't know. And I just be so sad. Like it's not as bad as it was in the beginning, because like in the beginning I used to cry and like feel so down about it. Like he doesn't think I'm pretty or something like that. And then like now it's like I found a better way to deal with it, but it's still like, it still hurts me sometimes. Like, because I try my best to like look nice. And like I'm expecting him to be like, "Oh wow, like you look amazing" or something like that, but he never does. So like I don't know, like how can I do?
Why do you need to? How can you what?
I was like, I don't know how I can like deal with it. Like I know what you're about to ask me, and I don't know why.
What am I about to ask you?
You about to ask me like, why do I need that from him?
Yeah. And the reason that you need, because you are on an ego trip, and the reason you're on the ego trip, you have anger, and so you have been turned away from your true self, and you're living a false self. You're not your anger, you're not your thoughts. And until you overcome that anger, you're going to always need something or someone to validate you on the outside, and it never lasts. It's never going to last. You're going to need more and more from somebody else, and if he doesn't do it enough or doesn't do it at all, you got to overcome your anger. You got to start paying attention to what's happening on the inside of you and overcome your anger, because it's all ego, it's all intellect, and the intellect hate God, the ego hate God, and you're worshiping the devil.
But like he can't just give in sometimes and like tell me I look nice sometimes.
If he does, it'll be fine, but if he doesn't, it should be fine. His purpose is not to make you feel good, but to help you overcome that false feeling of feeling good.
I know, and it's like, he has been, but I still find myself like a little upset, like that I feel like I go out of my way to look nice, and he doesn't even acknowledge it. Like,
do you believe that you are your ego?
I don't believe I'm my ego, but at the same time, I'm struggling with it. Like, I'm struggling with letting it die.
You struggle with it? How are you struggling with it?
Because it's like, even though I know that it's an ego issue, and I know that I shouldn't care, like it should be fine either way, it's still not. Like, like sometimes I'll still argue with him about it. Like, you don't think I'm pretty, and you think other girls are pretty. Like, because I saw him like send a message to someone, like I was going through his phone. Like, this is like like in the beginning. So like this is like someone that he was talking to before we got together, and he told her that she looked cute and stuff like that, and she was fat. So it's like I'm like, there's no way, like, you're not telling me I look pretty, or like why don't you tell me I look pretty?
So you don't believe that you are your ego? Do you believe you're your ego?
No.
And why the best way to overcome ego is to give up the fight. Don't fight with it at all. It's enough to just see it, but don't fight with it. And then the Father, God, will fight it. The Spirit of the Father will fight it for you and destroy it. But as long as you're fighting with it, you're giving it life. You're giving it control.
I have a question. So I used to like to wear, like, the wigs and the eyelashes and the long fingernails and the makeup, right?
Right.
And, like, a part of me still wants to do that sometimes. Like, I don't have to do it all the time like I used to do, but part of me wants to do it sometimes. But my husband doesn't like it. But if he's not going to compliment me anyway, shouldn't I just, like, do what I want to do?
No, you should overcome it. You should work on the not you so you can become your real you. You want perfect peace. And going back to that stuff is only going to keep you in hell.
Okay.
No, don't do that. You don't want to rebel against your husband. You want to obey your husband.
Right.
Have you?
But I feel like sometimes he should, like, just give in and, like, it doesn't hurt. Like, what does it hurt him to tell me I look pretty? Like, I feel like he's trying to, like, keep me, like, wanting his approval or something. Like, it's like, is he being manipulative? Like,
no.
I don't know what's happening.
You're trying to control him to get him to do what you want him to do. And if he did that, you would hate him for it. He's doing you a favor, a great favor, by not doing that, because it is allowing you to see the anger that is coming up inside of you because he won't do what you want him to do. At least that kind of stuff. Let me ask, have you heard me say to forgive your mother?
Yes.
Have you done that?
In my mind, I have, but I have not gone to her because we don't speak. So it's like, I don't know how to, like, just call her up and be like, I forgive you. Like, we don't speak at all. So
you call her up or FaceTime with her and say, look, I realize I resent you and I become just like you.
But sometimes if I call her, she doesn't answer. So,
but
like, she be like screening my calls. Like, if she sees it's a call from me, she'll duck it.
Okay, well, here's what I want you to realize. You are just like your mother.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No. That lady evil. I'm not evil.
Yes,
I'm not
you
that
are.
evil if I am.
You have anger?
It's like a small percent, though.
Do you have anger?
Yes, sir.
Then you're evil.
Okay.
You want to overcome
But it's like a little evil.
Well, little evil is still evil.
Okay.
And it's pure evil. Evil is nothing but evil. There's no love in evil. There's nothing but hatred. Nothing but evil. So since you can't talk to your mother, you must realize that anger that you have came from her. When you started to be angry at her, you became like what you hate.
Mm.
And then you see that this anger is controlling you, and it making you do and think things that you wouldn't ordinarily think and do. It's not you doing it, it's making you do it.
Right.
And then when you realize that, you forgive your mother by realizing just as you can't help yourself, your mother cannot help herself. Her mother did it to her, right? And God will forgive you when you forgive your mother. You can't talk to her. But by realizing she couldn't help herself, God will forgive you, and he will take the spirit of anger out of your mind and give you a clear mind.
I realized that she couldn't help herself. It's just like I haven't been able to tell her because I'm a mom now too. So I see like certain mistakes I'm making that I'm not intentionally making.
Right.
So
yes.
I understand that like she did what she could do. She did her quote unquote best, but it's like I can't say it to her because like we are never in the same place and like she ducks my calls.
Right. Well, that's fine. And since you can't do it, just realize you can't, but you understand that she couldn't help herself. And in that, God will forgive you and he will take the spirit away from you. Are you doing the silent prayer?
No.
Why not?
basically, because I always, like, when I think of it, it's, like, already late, like, late in the day, or, like, I didn't do it as soon as I got up, so I just be like, all right, so there's no point in doing it because I didn't do it the right way.
Well, here's what I want you to do. Instead of trying to get someone to validate you or make you feel a certain way, because that's not real love. We're not supposed to try to make each other feel good.
That's what he be saying.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be saying things. That is keeping you in hell, because all he's doing would be doing is building your ego, keeping you one with evil. And you will get to the point, if you do the silent prayer morning and night and just watch those thoughts, stop identifying with them, you will get to the point where you would need nothing from no one. You would be free.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait till I reach that point.
Yeah, well, do the silent prayer and watch. And when that thing tell you, oh, he's not complimenting you. He's not telling you that.
Yeah, he don't love you. That's what they be telling me.
Right. That's evil in you. That's not you, but that's the evil that made a home in your mind and emotions when you became angry.
Yeah. Because then, like, also I've been trying to gain weight because, like, I'm really skinny. And, like, his last girlfriend, she was fat, and he told her she looked good. So I'm like, do he like fat women? Like, but he married me, but I don't know. I'm just so confused.
The devil lied to you. That's not you thinking all that mess. Because you'll get fat, and then you'll be as miserable at being fat as you are at being skinny. You're comparing yourself to other people, and that's an ego thing, too. You want to live a life where you don't compare yourself to anyone, you don't need anything from anyone, and you'll be fine. You'll live a perfect life on earth.
Okay.
What did your father say when you asked him why didn't he protect you from your mother? What did he say?
Basically, my mom was molested, so that's how I got here. So I don't know my dad.
And do you want to know him?
Yeah, I actually did Ancestry.com, so hopefully I could find some of my family on my father's side.
And your mother don't know who he is?
She claims that she doesn't.
She lying?
Mm-hmm. She black.
Oh, she black. No wonder. How do you know that he molested her?
Well, it's basically like family members, because I used to always cry about it, like, I don't know who my dad is and stuff like that. And then, like, family members told me that she was SA'd and that's how I came about. But she's never really admitted that, and she claims that she doesn't know.
See that? What's SA'd?
Sexually assaulted. I didn't want to say it on the show.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm black and slow. Don't believe that about your father.
Mm-hmm.
Don't believe anything that anyone tells you about him. You try to find your father if you can and ask him about why he wasn't around, what happened. And in the meantime, don't hold anything against your father, because what's missing inside of you, you're really yearning for the love of a father.
Oh, I know that's right.
Yeah, that void you have is the yearning of a father, but the devil telling you, oh, you need to wear a lot of makeup. You need to wear wigs. You need to wear the little tight yoga pants. You need to look this way.
Yep.
He's lying to you, and you're looking for the love of a father. So when you forgive your mother and forgive your father for not being there, that void will be fulfilled. And not only will you have peace, you will be a perfect wife. Without any needs.
I look forward to that.
Yeah. It's time for you to just work on you so that you can stop listening to the devil in your head. He's lying to you, all right?
Okay. So, like, I have one more question. Do you think I should get, like, a counseling session with me and my husband, or just me first, like, with you?
If you want it, absolutely. And if you want to do it, no problem, but it's up to him.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I want you to do the silent prayer morning and night, and just watch the thoughts because his thoughts bring out emotions, and emotion confirm thoughts, right? And when you feel that those thoughts in the pain, just relax in it. Don't fight with it. Just relax and go through it. And on the other side of it is heaven, the kingdom of heaven. You'll be fine.
Okay. So I'm a female since I have anger. I'm not a woman.
I'm sorry?
So I'm a female because I have anger. I'm not a woman.
Right. And when you overcome that anger, the Spirit of God will cause you to develop into a woman. It'll be amazing.
All right. But I still like the term ladies or gals.
What?
Can I use the term lady or gal, even though I'm not a woman?
Right. Ladies or gals. That's what Hake uses a lot, gals.
Yeah, I like that. I like when Hake says ladies or gals.
Yeah, you can say that. You're not a woman yet. You're a female or a gal or ladies or gal.
Okay.
But I'm
All right, thank you so much, Jesse. I really appreciate you taking the time out to speak with me.
You're welcome. But Asia, work on you. Try to make your husband validate a false identity like that. It's just pure hell. That's the devil got you trying to do that. That's evil. It's not even you wanting that. This thing is making you think that's what you want.
All right. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll start doing the silent prayer. I'll try my best to start doing it because, I am so forgetful. So, when I get up, it's not going to be the first thing I do. And then, when I'm going out throughout my day, can I do it if I remember? Or, am I not supposed to do it unless I do it first thing in the morning?
Well, you're supposed to do it the first thing in the morning, but let's say right now you forget. But when you remember, do it. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
You've been so helpful. Thank you.
And one last thing. I want you to test something for me.
Yes.
When that thing, next time it tell you, oh, he's not telling you that you're pretty. You look nice today. He's not saying anything. Don't respond to it at all. Just watch that thing telling you that and see what happens. It's going to have a fit because it doesn't want you to watch it. It wants you to react to it.
Right.
And when it starts yelling and screaming inside your body and mind and body, you let it scream, you let it yell, and you just watch it, and you will be saved from it.
All right.
Just know that that's not you yelling and screaming like that. That's something else.
Okay. And then I wanted to say one more thing about the PDA. With the PDA that you were talking about, the girls be looking around to, make sure people are watching. I noticed that the guys be looking around hoping that no one's watching.
Right. Absolutely. Wow.
All right, Jesse. Thank you.
All right. Work on yourself, Asia. Let me know how it goes.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Have a good day, guys.
It's not attention from your husband that you're looking for. You're looking for the love of a father.
Yeah.
All right?
That makes sense. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Amazing. Amazing call. Ladies, seek first the kingdom of God. Just like the men have to do. You must be born of the Father. That's what's missing. You got to put it first. There's an order to life spiritually. There's a disorder when you're angry, but there's an order. If you want to get this thing right, you got to follow the rules. God's not going to change his rules just because you don't want to follow them. You must seek first the kingdom of God in his right way. All right? Put that first above all things and everyone. Super chat.
Super chat.
Super.
Marcus bought 3 coffees. Jesse, does bitchalism exist? Laughing face emoji. Make America amazing again.
Amazing. Does what?
Well, he bought a 4th coffee saying, correction. I can't believe he's making me say this. Bitchism. I'm black, LOL, lots of laughs.
He black, yes, it exists. Thank you.
That's one ism that does exist.
Right.
Ray Benjamin.
Well, I don't know if you call it ism, but just without the ISM.
Okay. Nice. Thank you, Marcus. Ray Benjamin bought a coffee. Hello, everyone at Jesse Cinematic Universe. Cinematic Universe.
Amazing.
Nice. I have reached out in the past and mentioned that I barely knew Spanish like the rest of my family. The Spanish version of your silent prayer uses the phrase shut up instead of something else. I mentioned it to your producer earlier this week and hope it was sorted out. Peace in the New York East. That never rhymed. What the? Laughing. Question mark, exclamation mark.
So the prayer in the Spanish has shut up in it?
Yeah, but your English one has shut up in it too.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
Why? I put it there?
Yeah, you said shut up.
Well, leave it there.
You said shut up, and then the Spanish version says it in Spanish, and I'm not going to repeat it because it sounds rude.
Oh, yeah, shut up and know God.
Yeah.
Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Someone bought a coffee. I can tell when someone is wrong or lying. When someone is wrong, they say, I thought the key words here because they got a thought, and believed it, but they don't know it was wrong. I can tell when someone is lying, they say, I'm trying not to do this or that, whatever it is, because the trying is a false word. There is no trying. You either do or don't. It's simple. There is no trying in life, period. You just watch and observe and let God handle the rest.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, someone.
Yeah, thank you, someone.
Gregatron bought a coffee. Jesse, my friend, I'm disappointed in you. Female Monday? Female Monday? Question mark, question mark, question mark. That's the best you guys could think of? What about my ideas, Jesse? Beta Male Monday? Enter the Maze Monday? Or Amazing Monday? What the? Gregatron sounds like sour grapes.
I know. I appreciate your suggestion. It doesn't mean we won't ever use them, but we needed to help the females as well. Thank you, though. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Matthew on YouTube bought 3 coffees. Jesse, when you going to start a dating app for the Jesse Thumpers? Maybe Joel could help with it.
We don't need a dating app. We try to get the men and the women to seek first the kingdom of God in his right way. And if it's meant for them to have a woman or a man in their life, it will happen naturally. Because if they're out there dating and looking for it, they're going to always, both men and women, always end up in hell. All you'll ever find is hell. You're not supposed to see anything but the Father, and all will be added. Amazing. Thank you.
Sion bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse. Dark black Santa emoji. Waving hand emoji. Love you.
Love you too, Sion. Thank you. And Happy New Year to you.
Prince Vibes bought a coffee saying, HBD, happy birthday to me. Thanks to you, it's now second nature not to overreact, to be patient, to not yell at my kids, to see my thoughts, to forgive myself, to be present and let go. I have no love to give because I'm a woman, but I'm slowly getting there. Scrunching laughing emoji, Bambi eyes emoji, and party emoji.
It's not that women don't have love because they are a woman. Women don't have love because Satan is their God. It's the spirit of the devil, of evil inside of them. So, and it's because of what Eve did when she believed into the serpent, believed him, he became a god, and evil entered the world. But it's not because you are a woman. It's because of the God that you serve. Thank you.
Elias Garcia bought a coffee. What's wrong with the blacks? You Tom like a cup.
What's wrong with the blacks? Amazing. Thank you.
Mr. Pink bought a coffee. To answer the biblical question,
do you have confidence?
Axe emoji. Confidence is just another feeling. When you believe your feelings, that's just buying into the ego, the devil, and he gets to build you up in a false sense of superiority over your real self or others. Just another thrill. Matthew 5:39, but I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. P.S. That caller has a good take on the mama spirit, female judge looking for that thrill too. And then he gives another coffee. Oh, snap, I sent the wrong Bible verse in my answer. That is the one that makes sense in the reference to confidence. Proverbs 28:26. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
So, do they have confidence?
I don't know if Mr. Pink. I don't know if Mr. Pink answered it.
And I thought I was waiting on it if he has confidence or not.
I don't think he said if he does or not.
Oh, he didn't say?
Yeah. But thanks for the context, biblical passages.
But you didn't answer the question. What's up? Thank you, though. Appreciate it. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, your phone calls, and we'll finish the Super Chat.
Okay.
Back in a moment. Thank you.
Treasure Chest is opening on D-Live.
Treasure Chest is now open on D-Live. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother, who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone, and you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Dios dijo que cuando ores, te quedes quieto y lo conozcas. Entra en tu armario de oración, cállate y conócelo. Cuando dice que vayas a tu armario de oración, significa que vayas dentro de ti. Ve hacia tu interior, quédate quieto y conócete a ti mismo. Debes ir dentro de ti. Te animo a que te sientes y ores. Amazing. The silent prayer in Spanish on our YouTube channel. It doesn't get any better than that. Brent, at 9 a.m. this morning, the Hake report coming up. At the top of this hour, the Hake report. The guy with the good hair at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, the Hake report. And then at 12 noon, brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. This is Trump. I saw this interview of the Great White, this town hall that he held. Well, he didn't hold it, but he was on Fox News. It was perfect. It was just plain old perfect. Anyway, at 12 o'clock, brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv, I talked to Ray Daniels. It was an amazing talk. And Ray is a hip-hop mogul, a CEO, and the host of a popular podcast called The God Show. The God Show.
Next time on The Fallen State.
It sounds like you're rich.
I am.
Like a white man?
I'm rich like a black man. Biggest thing now is I don't want to lose it. That's my biggest nightmare.
What a mess.
But my father was my dog. Like, I love my dad.
So at one time you were a slut maker?
I think I was a slut king maker. What you said makes sense. It's just the delivery might piss off a couple people, but I understand it. Why do you call us the blacks? Aren't you black? What are you...
Amazing. At 12 noon today, the Fallen State. Support the Fallen State at thefallenstate.tv/JL. No, yeah. Thefallenstate.tv. Is that right, James?
Yep.
That's it? Yes. Fallenstate.tv/donate. That's the word I'm looking for. And on locals.com. And at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. The Anchor Baby, he's on fire. You can't hide. He's flying high. on Energy from God at 4 p.m. And I'll see you at the fellowship on Sunday. Starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Doors open at 10:30 for all. And it's 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time it starts. You can go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Let me just go to Vanessa out of Los Angeles. Vanessa, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, brother.
Hey, Vanessa, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, and I love that song. I know I can find a way. I know we can find a way. Stand up. Sorry.
That's right.
I love that. I love it. I was calling because, I've been doing the silent prayer and understanding how the truth has helped me to see that I was acting crazy, but I know I wasn't crazy. So the question that I'm kind of leading up to is overcoming my mom and my grandmothers and my brother. They want to put me in a box, but I'm the one who goes in the box, right? And I always knew, like, my mom and my grandma, like, I always used to say that they treated me like their husband who cheated on them and is groveling back, because they were always, like, making me feel like I was doing something wrong. And like, trying to work for, like, their approval. And, like, they were constantly manipulating me, but I was just being a victim and acting, like, weak and just, like, driving myself crazy. But people would tell me, like, what do you mean, like, that? Why would your grandma do that? Or even my brother would say, like, what, be nice to mom. And I would just be just saying truthful things. But the whole point is, now that I know I need to work on myself, and even, like, sitting with the uncomfortableness of, when people are upset at me or people think that I'm acting crazy, or even, like, I can't even say your name anymore because they just want to jump down my throat. So and it's funny because when I refer to anything that you're saying, I say my friend now, because like, and it's so funny because Jesse's like, when I say my friend, they'll accept it more often and they won't just jump down and be like, oh, but you speak truth and you make sense. Well, you don't make sense. You're just speaking sense. And so, like, now that, like, I even told my mom, like, to back off my brother, and I'm trying to back off my brother too, because I'm being just controlling. I never knew I was controlling, and and I thought I was just being quote unquote caring, but it's just like, I'm constantly inserting myself, and and I was, like, trying to dominate my husband. And I even told him a couple days ago, you know what, Edward, because I've been listening to a lot of, like, your clips about, like, domineering mothers and like, and, like, just, like, I remember the story about you guys were talking about some football player who committed suicide, and everyone's feeling bad for the mom. And
so what's your question for me?
Okay. So, like, when, like, so they'll text me. Even my mom's asking, like, oh, she'll call me and ask me for advice. She's like, oh, because I can't call Jesse. And I'm like, they'll just try to play on me. So like, I'm not right? Like, I mean, I could just not talk to them, right? Or, like,
what's
answer
your question
text,
for
like,
me?
Okay. My question is, am I being mean by not giving in to making them feel good?
No, you're not being mean at all. You would be mean if you made them feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't be angry at them, and just calm down and do the silent prayer, watch those thoughts, and go on and live your life. But you're not being mean by not making them feel good. You'll be mean by making them feel good, because you'll be supporting their egos.
Yeah, and I don't want them to worship me because they'll put me on a pedestal, yeah.
Well, when that happens, if you see it happening, just see it. Don't do anything about it. It'll change by itself. God will change it because He will see that you are not reacting to it, and so you're not putting yourself on a pedestal.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And so just stay calm down, and just simply live your life.
All right. Oh, it's so easy, and the silent prayer, like wow, that's because I realize like I do talk too much, and like God's voice it's so true. Like just to be still and know that He's God and.
When you catch yourself talking a lot or too fast or too anxious, when you see it, just it'll calm down once you see it. It would change by itself. You can't even make that change. But let's say you find yourself doing it. Just see it and stop doing it. That's all. It'll change by itself. Just catch yourself doing it, but don't judge yourself. Don't be frustrated. Don't try to make the change happen. Changes happens on their own for the good.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Amazing.
One thank you's enough, huh? Amazing. Bye.
Vanessa, call me again.
Okay, will do. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. 888-7753-773. That's the line open. Jesse is a first-time caller. Jesse's girl. Jesse, welcome to the show out of North Carolina.
Hey, how you doing, man? Glad you took my call. Just wanted to say God bless you, man, and you're amazing.
Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. Nice name.
Yeah, you do.
I appreciate that, man. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, you too. So I do got a question for you. I've heard you say that you're not like a Bible thumper, and I was just wondering why that is. I've never heard like a Christian that's a strong, red-hot Christian that doesn't kind of promote the Bible.
Because when you're into the Bible like that, it's all knowledge and it's all ego. And you would never know God by being into the Bible. You just have information. But if you just read the Bible, put it up, read it, put it away, and don't hold on to the knowledge of it, then the understanding will come.
Okay.
Because the Bible thumper, they just know about God. They have the knowledge, but the knowledge of God is just knowledge. The intellect is evil. And the intellect hate God.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can sort of agree with that because when I got saved, I didn't know much about the Bible, and I didn't know much about Christianity, and but after I got saved, I have really gotten into the Bible, and I use the King James Version.
You don't want to get into the Bible. Just read it, but don't get into it. Do not hold on to the knowledge of it, because it's going to keep you from entering into the kingdom of heaven within, because the intellect is not love. It's hatred. It's not of God. There's nothing wrong with reading it, but don't read it. Don't get all into it. You'll get stuck right there.
All right.
Are you truck driver?
Yes, sir. I sure am.
Hello, truck driver.
Yes, sir. Do flatbed trucking. I haul lumber.
Right on. You about to ask another quick question?
Oh yeah. I personally use the King James Version. I was wondering, which Bible do you use?
I use the. What's my Bible called, James? Hake. Ask James out there what's the name of my Bible. The New Jerusalem Bible.
The New Jerusalem Bible. Okay, I never heard of that one.
It is an amazing Bible, man. It'll blow your mind. It's so easy to understand, and it's like real life.
So, is it like got the 66 canonized book, or does it got like Apocrypha in it?
I don't know about all that.
All right.
I just know it's a good Bible. But whatever Bible you read, don't get into the Bible. You don't want to be into the knowledge. That's what's wrong with the Christians. They're into the knowledge of the word. They know evil and they know about good, but they don't know God.
All right, that's good. That's good. I like it. So also, I heard earlier you was talking with the caller about the caller was trying to say that he had two men, the old man and the new man, and you were saying that the old man don't exist anymore. And I agree with you on that, and I find that many Christians don't believe that, and I was just curious how you came to that conclusion.
By Allah, I was able to see it. The light allowed me to see that you can't serve two gods. The old man is of the devil, is evil, and the new man is of God, and they cannot dwell in the same place.
I agree. So with that said, do you believe that you only have one nature? Because a lot of people say you got two natures.
No, you only have one. You either have one which is evil, or you die from the evil one, you have one which is God. You can't have two. Hassan, come and do this.
So do you believe that you're born with a sinful nature?
You're not born with it, but you are born through a sinful nature, which is your mother, and you become like her. You're born innocent, but because her nature is evil, and you become angry, you become like her, and that's why you must be born again of the Father.
I agree. All right, that's good, man. I tell you, not too many people think it, but I agree with you on that 100%.
Are you doing the silent prayer?
I'm not exactly sure. I just started listening to you about a month ago, and been listening to you a lot. I've heard you talk about it, but I'm not sure exactly what it is.
Go to the YouTube channel or rebuildingtheman.com/church, and it's there, and it will show you how to be still and let go so that God can completely take over.
Okay. I find it interesting. I don't know if this would meet the criteria for the silent prayer, but probably about 2 months ago, I was talking with a friend of mine, and I told him I was going to start practicing when I pray to God, just being and trying to listen to God rather than me doing all the talking. And I found that very helpful.
You said be in the moment?
No, to just be quiet.
Yes.
And instead of me doing all the talking to God, rather me be quiet and try to listen to God.
He's going to love that. He's going to love for you to shut up and know him.
Yeah, I found it to be very helpful with my relationship with him.
Right on. And that's what the silent prayer is all about. It's for you to just be still and know the Father.
Yeah, I like that.
Give it a try. Let me know what you think.
I have been. Yeah, I reckon I have been doing it in my own way. So.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I got to run, but thank you, man, Jesse.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Call me again. Be careful on the road.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye now. 888-775-3773. Richard, a first-time caller out of Connecticut.
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
All is well, Richard. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna start with a funny story. I'm supposed to go to my friend's wedding in April, and I just found out yesterday that he also invited my mother, and now I got to go with my mother. So what the?
Oh, wow.
Anyway,
what a mess.
What a mess. Yeah. So I'm actually calling to talk about women for a minute. Just what you think about this. I've been listening to you for a while. So I know you say women shouldn't lead, or maybe we should have a negative view of women.
Not only should they shouldn't lead, but they cannot lead. It's not in their nature.
So this is maybe just an interesting thought or something to think about, more of a Bible thumper thought if people don't know this. And I try to stick with the words that you use or the language you use, which is when Jesus dropped his body and the first people who were the first people he spoke to were women. And so I don't know what to make of that or why that's in there or why that occurred.
Because the women were nosy and they went to see if he was still there.
Yeah, I guess that could be true, but I think maybe
he knew that the women were going to run and tell it.
Which they did. But anyway, just an interesting thought, something, I was raised going to church my whole life, but that was something I heard years ago that just was an interesting thought about, because I know the debate about women as, growing up and going to church, that whole idea about women leading the church and stuff was something I always kind of sensed in myself. But
whenever you want to get a message out, there are 3 ways of communication: telephone, telegraph, tell a woman.
Tell a woman, that's it. All right. So I do agree with you on a lot of things. That's something that, those certain things that make you wonder why it's there. People have used that to say, how important and equal or women are. I feel like that was the first time someone brought that story forth in the Bible that made me kind of see maybe that was there for a reason. So anyway, just something to think about. But,
right on.
Anyway, hopefully I'll survive this trip with my mother. I'll call you back and tell you.
All right, man. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Amazing. Super chat.
Super.
Kilo Alpha Tango bought a diamond. It's unanimous. Chat voted that Hake Crip walks. It's a gang thing.
Oh, okay.
It's stylish.
Amazing. Thank you.
Cactus Eater Bear donated a diamond. No message. Thank you.
Thank you.
WD41 donated a few diamonds and says, have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it.
Renegade bought a coffee. In answer to the biblical question, I guess.
Do you have confidence?
My confidence is false. It's subjective because it's just to feed the ego. It's not congruent with my actual abilities. I can be confident I know nothing, then someone will tell me that I do know. There's nothing to be sure about.
So do they have confidence?
Yes, but it's false.
Oh, they do have it, but it's false?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
Jesus on YouTube asks, What advice do you have for people who are constantly overthinking?
Just stop thinking. Get away from thinking. Let them pass. You want to be free? Stop thinking. Except practical thoughts. What you going to wear? What you going to... Meaning like, am I wearing a suit today or jeans? Or am I have turkey or pig feet? That's it. But get away from thinking.
John from New Jersey bought a coffee. My answer to the biblical question.
Do you have confidence?
I am so conflicted with this question, by the way. First, I want to say I do not identify as confidence. Feelings are from the devil. But then, how was I able to face my fear of forgiving my mother if I'm not confident? Then it hit me. I am not confidence. But me staying present and being practical made me forgive my mother. This is John from New Jersey.
Amazing. Thank you, John. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday.
Urinal Chill is a monthly subscriber on Rumble. Says, what a mess.
What a mess. Thank you.
Shout out to the top contributors, WD41, Maverick something, Cactus Eater Bear, Kilo Alpha Tango, Zealous Hermit, an adult human male, and the rest of the redheaded stepchildren that I call them, the D-Live crew. Shout out, guys, and thank you all.
Shout out, guys, and thank you all. Amazing. I appreciate it. That's it?
No, don't look up bought 3 coffees just now. Mr. Sandman, please turn on your magic beam.
Amazing. Thank you.
Maybe I should have sung that. Should have sung that.
Mr. Sandman.
Give me a treat.
That's it?
I don't know. But now that's it, yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Amazing. Let me go quickly to Charles, the first-time caller out of Georgia, on my mind. Charles, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing today?
All is well, sir.
I know that's right. Just calling in real quick because I had 2 questions for you, if you don't mind. And
Okay.
I'll ask you guys this way. Yes, sir. So the first question, I actually agree with your view on it, but I just kind of wanted to get it again from you, directly from you. And it's regarding guys who date older women or have kids by older women. And before you answer, like I said, I do agree. I don't think it should happen, but I just want to get it directly from you on why you think that is.
They're dating their mothers. They're looking for mama.
Yep. Okay. And I think the reason I'm asking this specific question is because I'm 29. I do have a kid. He's almost 4, but his mom's 30, so she's like 11 months older than me. And even though that's not that big of an age difference, I don't care if it was 6 weeks or 2 months. I seen it when me and her were together that she tried to what I call little boy me all the time, trying to, just always showing her experience and, well, I've done this before and you haven't, so I can show you the ropes. And I'm like, I don't want you to show me the ropes on these things. I need somebody I can show the ropes to. But
that's right.
But either way, what you say about that is right. But then that brings to this point. When a guy tries to date a woman, even if she's a year or 2 younger, that's when they get to talking about, well, he's a creep. So is age gap dating not in the favor of men when he goes younger? Is it only good when he goes older? Or what's your take on that?
You said she started saying what now? Was he younger?
So, yeah. So, for example, when I used to date like women for my
you know what, Charles? To be fair
old.
to this conversation, I'm out of time. The clock going to cut us off in a minute. Can you call me back next week and I'll get right to you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Yeah, call me next week, and I don't want to rush through this, all right?
Yes, sir. I understand. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake Report. And then Father State at 12 and American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. all Pacific time. Get on that straight and narrow, folks, and stay there. Stay there, stay there, stay there. And when you've done all you can do to stay there some more. All right? I'll be back on Monday. I'll see you on Sunday. To the callers, William, and somebody just dropped and others. I'm out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. Forgive, be still, and know God, and the rest is amazing. All right. Take care, folks. Thank you for the super chats and the phone calls and everything. It's amazing. Take care. Amazing. I know you.
Know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. You must know that so you get something went wrong.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.